Most people think fitness is about looking good. Well, kind of, sort of, it is, but it's deeper than that. Fitness is about the hero's journey, and most people quit before they even become the hero. So if you ever stopped working out, started working out, then stopped, then started again, then stop, this video's for you. You see, the problem is with most people, and probably you in particular, it's not that you lack discipline. What you lack is an understanding of the journey that you're on. See, with the hero's journey is basically where the character, where you're the main character in your life, goes through a phase in their life, right? Where they live an ordinary life. They get a calling, they reject the calling, then something happens, then they actually accept the call. They go through like a metamorphosis or a change, and they become the hero and save the day. So this is what fitness is really about, and how you can take that same principle and transform your life to here and beyond, not just going into the new year. All right. Your boy stay with the notes because, it's an in-depth kind of subject. You know what I mean? So here we go. So the ordinary world, you start out ordinary, right? You know how it is. You're comfortable. You're distracted. You're just surviving. You're going with the flow, right? You really don't have any aim or purpose, right? Everything is good for you. If you're into fitness, like I said, you're lollygagging. You're skipping your workouts. You're eating without an awareness. You're just going whatever, eating your donuts, whatever you want to eat. You're enjoying into your daily pleasures, right? Living a body that doesn't really reflect your potential. You feel it, you know it, but you're like, whatever. This is the version of you where you know you're destined for more, but you haven't claimed it yet. We all go through it. Man, I got to lose 50 pounds. You're looking in the mirror, you're holding your stomach, you're seeing your back fat, but you're like, whatever. Right? Now, this phase of your journey now, it's phase 2, is what you call the call to adventure. Something happens, right? It's like a mirror moment. You probably look in the mirror, you see the extra pounds, you got a Dunlap. For the fellas, you can't see your manhood. The ladies, you need a mirror to look at your girl. You know how it goes. Your energy is low. Someone probably said something, a comment. You probably even had a health scare. You go to the doctor, high blood pressure, diabetes, you're borderline diabetic. Whatever the case may be, something triggers you now. And you're like, oh, bring some type of awareness. You're like, oh, I really need to change my life, right? So you feel it deep inside you, like, this is uncomfortable. It could probably mean you went up in a belt size. Your clothes are getting tighter. Clothes that used to fit you nicely, not fitting so nice or neat as before. So these kind of things are starting to resonate with you. This is what you call the call. Because now you're like, all right, I got to do something about that, right? Cool. I guess I got my notes here, right? Now, when we get the call, just like anything else, we refuse it. We don't want to accept it. So we're like in denial, right? So now you make the excuses. We see it all the time. People come to the gym. Yeah, but I don't have the time. I do it Monday. I start New Year's in like one more week, right? Or I start tomorrow. You said those type of excuses before. We all have, right? So remember now, this part of it is not a weakness. You're just trying to refuse the call because you don't want to transform. Because with it now, you have to take responsibility. That's why most people reject the call. They're like, suppose this don't work. I don't want to accept this type of responsibility to transform my life, although you know you need it, right? So, if you commit to it, and I get this with clients too, if they commit, they know there's no turning back. And I always said this in previous videos as well, like you're the greatest investment that you'll make. You have the greatest ROI, return on investments. That's why some of the challenges as a personal trainer, people are, oh, I can't afford a personal trainer, but they got Birkin bags. They could go on trips. They can stand online for Chris Brown concerts. I love Breezy too, but they'll go on these concerts for their favorite artists, but they can't take the time or make the sacrifice to invest in themselves and hire a personal trainer. So they pile up with all these excuses, and at the same time, they're putting on more and more weight, right? So the next phase now is when they meet a mentor, right? After they go through that, they meet a mentor. And there's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. I kind of believe that too, because at that time it's like an acceptance kind of thing. And then you open up, then the teacher comes or whatever have you, because you're in pursuit now. Now it's like, to me, almost hitting like rock bottom, like in AA. And that's when you get the greatest amount of change. I think Aang said that to Korra in the Avatar, the Legends of Korra, when she lost her bending. And she was like, he said to her, when we hit our lowest point, that's when we're destined for the biggest change. So that's the transition right there. So when you refuse the call, then you meet your mentor and he kind of guides you on the way, right? So that's why I would always say invest in a coach, especially if you're new to the gym and you're going into the new year or you're new to that environment, not even just the new year. Invest in a coach or mentor, and what happens with that, you get like a message, some type of epiphany, like, I don't want to live like this no more, or a realization that I have to do something better, right? So you'd hear talks like, you don't need motivation, you need structure, you need truth, you need consistency. This is where, for my brand, this is where now you begin to transform yourself to lead into gold. But right now you're lead going into the fire, right? And fire is not a bad thing. I always grow up hearing that fire means for purification, right? So you gotta get that dross off of you, right? That's like how they fine tune gold anyway, right? So from that part of your journey, now you're going what is called crossing the threshold, right? This is where you begin to train. Now, this is not when you feel like it. Now you're like, this is something you have to do. It's it's going to become part of your lifestyle. And this is what I tell clients too. When they try to deviate, or I'm going on vacation, can I eat so and so? No, because you're not ready yet. You can't handle that because you'll go out of range. So stick to it in that earlier stages, right? So everything is kind of strict. So this is when you have to be. It's not a convenient anymore. You have to be committed. Now this is the decision you made, so you know it's no turning back, right? This is now you start to adapt that lifestyle. Now you start to make the changes because you want to do better now. So everything now is intentional. From your diet, you're eating with more awareness. You start to begin to move your body in the proper way, starting to see the results, and your identity, not more importantly, that your body is changing, your mindset is changing. So therefore your identity is beginning to shift. So you're becoming a new person during this process as well. Right. So, but with anything, without every hero, you need a villain. So you're gonna have definitely tests, trials, and struggles, right? And resistance to see how bad you really want it. It could come in many forms. Your mindset, this is another phase of the hero's journey. Your mindset, family, and friends. Girl, why you putting on, girl, you looking skinny. You gotta eat something. Fellas, yo, who you trying to look good for? You trying to get some girls? What's going on? You losing weight? Nah, I ain't drinking. I can't hang out. I gotta go to the gym. These are the struggles that you'll be facing, right? And not only that, your body will respond into this new change. So the soreness, you may hit plateaus, the reality of life, temptation to eat, like I just said, family may deter you, friends may deter you, life be life, and you may have children, all these kind of things that throw on us. But these are the trials to see how bad we really want it, or how bad you really want it to take your physique and your health to the next level, right? And this is what really tests your character in this fire process as well. So you want to like stay in the heat kind of thing, you know what I mean? So this fitness really doesn't just help build muscle, like I said earlier, it reveals who you are when things get uncomfortable. I know people like when life start lifing for them, they're like, yo, I can't do this anymore. I'm going through a lot, but yet they're still eating. Yet they still go to work. Yet they still go to school, but they don't make time to schedule working out. Right? Now, this is the dark night phase, not night like Batman, night as in daytime. Right? So now this is where you start to quit because you like, I'm seeing the result, it's challenging. Maybe I'm not up to this. Right? So doubt starts to creep in, but you still have to keep pushing because now progress is slowing up. When you first start to, you get what is called newbie gains. So your body's responding to the stimulus quickly. So, but after a while, your body will plateau. You're like, wait a minute, the scale's not going down. the motivation is slowing down. That momentum that you had or that excitement starts to curb. And you're trying to find out why. Old habits start to call your name. So you're like, you know what? I kind of got it now. Maybe I can eat an uh, extra cup of rice. I can eat a donut here, a cake here, and try to slip those things in. And those things will halter your progress. And you don't want that. All right. And this is where most people stop because they think they got it. And I see it all the time training with clients in person and online. They think they got it. And then this is where they go the opposite way. And it's hard to get out of that rhythm. Once you skip rhythm or you miss a beat, it's hard to get back in to that phase, especially if it's not part of your lifestyle. So for those who are going into this transformation, this metamorphosis, you want to keep going. And this is the reason why, you know, because now, like I said, this is revealing more of your character, more of yourself. So who are you when it gets uncomfortable? Can you push through the discomfort to get to the other side? Most people stop. But once you get over that part right here, this is where the transformation takes place, right? So you start to change. So by pushing through your plateaus, your body changes, your posture shifts, right? Your confidence rises because now you know you can do it. And how you do anything is how you do everything. You see what I'm saying? So now once you see your body starting to change, you start to carry yourself a little bit differently. People will see it. Confidence is contagious. Your energy is contagious, right? It's not created, just transfers form, right? Energy is never, energy is never is not created or destroyed. It just transfers. So by you transferring that principle from exercising your fitness, it will come across in all aspects in your life, whether it's your family, business, relationships. You'll see it. You start to walk with your chest up higher now, head high. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Fitness Gym. It don't go down. You know what I mean? So these things right here, this is the transformation because your mindset is starting to change also. So how do you see yourself? You see yourself reaching your potential now, which will give you more confidence, right? And not only that, that confidence will teach you that you can trust yourself, that you are reliable. At the end of the day, it's you versus you, and that you're the only person that you can rely on, right? And now this is what I call alchemy, as part of my brand, Alchemy Fitness. And this is where you're turning lead to gold. Remember, I talked about the fire. Why the fire is mean for purification? That's what happens with gold. Because when it's dirty, you use fire to dross or take the dross off or the impurities out of it. So all the trials and tribulations that you're going through, that's what it does. You see what I'm saying? So from the lead to gold is a process of taking out any impurities to shine you up to be the best version of yourself. All right. Now, once you get that part, you come back with the reward, which is not abs, not just the weight loss, but you have this. My knees crying. You have discipline, you have more self-respect, and you also build the mental fortitude. A lot of clients that I've trained started off real soft, right? But not just in their bodies, but in their mindset. By them pushing through, getting to the reps and how they get controlling the weight, they're building a stronger mental attitude, not just with the weight. It's just what they didn't know that they had within themselves. You see what I'm saying? That they can do it. And this is where you start trusting yourself and start relying on yourself more. And it shows, right? So now your mind or your body start reflecting your mind because now you are the standard, and that's one of the things someone can't take away from you is a body that you built. This is why I'm not big on surgery unless you have to do it. With the BBLs, you still got to go to work, or the lipo and everything like that. You still got to come to the gym. And this is why most people, those surgeries fail because they did not take the time to go through the process of the fire to actually build their body so they can appreciate it. It's like winning the lotto. You see people within 2 years' time, they say, well, after they win the lotto, they lose it. It's because they did not have the proper knowledge on how to build their body. How to manage money. You see what I'm saying? So a fool and his money should soon part. It's the same thing when you don't do the same thing with your body, right? So after you come back, you got to come back home and start flexing on people, right? So you come back as the hero. So now you don't have to talk. Your presence talks for you. And that's what body game is all about. Shout out to Uncle Ron. So your presence speaks for you. Your consistency inspires. And I tell people this all the time. You never know who you're inspiring. So you never want to take yourself lightly. You know, it could be, if it's one person, to me, that's one person more that is one person more that you could inspire. You know what I mean? So that had no way to get to you. You know what I mean? And it's always proximity as well. You know, and now your discipline, as it says, become permissions for others, because they're like, if he can do it, I can do it too. You know, because we're all connected, right? So you are the example. All right. So in closing, fitness is just not about the gym. It's about who you are, who you become when no one is watching. And quitting would be easier. If, like the saying go, if it was easy, everybody can do it. You don't want to be everybody. You want to stand out from the rest. You want to be extraordinary, right? There's a lot of mediocre people here. In the Holy Quran, Allah said He didn't create man to be mediocre. He made us in the best of molds, right? So therefore, if we're creating His image and likeness, or in the Islamic world they say we're His Khalifa, that we stand in His place, then we should exemplify that by taking care of the body that He gave us. Because this is the real vehicle, the real house of God, if you get in the real spiritual kind of sense. You know, like I think a mentor said of mine, shout out to Cousin T, if I'm paraphrasing, God came down, or sexual being came down to body, what type of body you think they would operate in? Someone that's overweight or someone that looks aesthetically pleasing? You know, you decide, right? So train your body, forge your mind, and transform your identity, which is most important. You know, during this process is really about changing your identity and having that paradigm shift with your mindset. All right. So that's the hero's journey through fitness. And it starts the moment you decide to stop avoiding your potential. All right. So if you need training, online training, and macronutrient coaching, hit the link in the bio and reach out to you, and let's see if we can fit. And we'll transfer you from that to go. Alchemy Fitness, sign it off. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Peace.